Hello and welcome to the San Diego Unified Office Skills Training video series, Tips and Tricks. In today's video, we're going to be sharing how to do some compound sorting in Excel. And so to do that, we're going to open up our Excel file that we have here. And here we have a worksheet in our advanced workbook up here this is something we typically teach in our advanced Microsoft Excel class. And in this workbook, we have some 470 something pretend students with a whole bunch of data, as you can see here, from name to birthday, grade level, student numbers, all that kind of stuff. And so when we're doing sorting, we have to typically pick a column here. And so, for example, if we wanted to sort by last name and put it in alphabetical order, we can see that the first student here, Sabah Acosta, is the first student. The next one is Danny Morales. So it goes from A to M, back to A, down to L. We can see that it's not sorted in that fashion at that point. And so it's very simple to just select the column name, in this case, column B. And then here on the Home tab ribbon, go all the way down to the editing group to sort and filter. And we simply just want to sort from A to Z by last name. And we can do that by just clicking. And then we get this sort warning dialog box that pops up. And it says, hey, we notice that you have data to the left and to the right of each one of these names. Do you want to expand the selection to include all of that? The answer is yes, absolutely. And the other option is just to continue with just scrambling this column and leaving all the other columns the same. The only reason I can think of that you would ever want to do that is if, like in the case of us trainers having a pretend school, we could actually take a real school and then sort each column by just sorting that column, and it would eventually scramble all the data so that it would not be recognizable. All right, so we definitely want to expand the selection. So let's go ahead and say sort. And so now we can see that we have the last names in alphabetical order. And just to see how many students we have here, let's go ahead and do a little keyboard shortcut. Control-End, END is the key that's up there above your left, right, up, down arrows. It takes us down to the bottom of this, and we can see that Sarah Zuniga is our last student, 474, minus the header at the top. That means we have 473 students in this pretend school here. And so the keyboard shortcut to get back up to the top is Control-Home, and that'll take us back up to the top. And so at this point, since we have now sorted in alphabetical order the last names, if we wanted to compound those sorts, there are certain columns that we could do, but others that we can't. For example, if I try to now sort A to Z, the first names, then this first sort that we did would not stay, because obviously all of these first names have different last names. So if I put the first names in alphabetical order, then the last names would then become scrambled. And so, but there are other columns that we can do. So for example, if we want to, we can go over here to grade level, and I'm going to select column F, and then I'm going to go back over here to the editing group. And then I'm going to sort smallest to largest. And it's saying, hey, you've got data to the left and right of all these numbers. Do you want to expand the selection? You bet. So we sort that. And if you're from a middle school or high school, you should know that our kindergartners are identified as a 0 as far as grade level. And that's simply because if we scroll down, we see that all of our first graders are actually number 1, second graders number 2, so on and so forth. So let's take a look at that. We've just scrolled down. We saw that we have all of the last names are still in alphabetical order by kindergartners. And as we get down towards the end of the kindergartners, we're still going through the alphabet here. And when we get to the last of our kiddos here, right here, we see that Ellis Zanzibar is the last kindergartner. And then we see the alphabetical order by last name starting over again with A, B, C, D, all the way down there. And sure enough, it does that all the way down to grade level 5, since we have 6 grade levels in this pretend school, kindergarten through fifth grade. And so at this point, if we want to, we could actually go to column G and we could continue compounding the sort. So we started here with the last name, then we did grade level, and now we're going to alphabetize the male and female designations here. So we simply go to sort and filter, and we do A to Z. Yes, we definitely want to expand the selection. So we click on sort there, and now we've got in alphabetical order by last name. We got our A's, B's, C's, D's, all the way down, all of our kindergartners and all of the females. And if we scroll down, we see that the way that we did this by doing last name, then grade level, then gender, it's going to give us all of the females for kindergarten, first, second, third, all the way through fifth. And again, we see our last kindergartner that's a female was Alexis Yanger, and the first grader that was a female was Darla Antonio. And so we can see that we ordered it down that way, and it has to get all the way down to fifth grade before we're going to see the males. And then it starts over in kindergarten, and we can see again that it's alphabetized by name for all the kindergartners. And this time we go through kindergarten, then first and second and so on with all of the males. And each time we go to a new grade, we have the end of the alphabet starting over again by last name. So that's a compound search that we just did. And let's do Control Home to get back up to the top. That's a compound search, or I'm sorry, a compound sort that we did by last name, then grade level, then gender. I'm going to hit the undo button a couple of times because we're going to do this in a different order just to show you that the results can be different so we can control this. So if I undo it twice, then I can keep the alphabetizing that we did. The very first step we did of last name is still alphabetized. The grade level and gender are back to where they were when we started. So this time, instead of doing compounding the sorts by going to grade level, we're going to do gender next to see what that looks like. So I'm going to select column G for gender. I'm going to sort that A to Z. And yes, I want to expand the selection. All right. So now we have still in alphabetical order. We don't have any particular grade level at this point, but we've got all of the females all the way down and then followed by the males. So let's go ahead and then do the last of our compound sorting here for grade level and say sort smallest to largest. Expand the selection, you bet. All right, so now we've got all the kindergartner females, just like we did before, but this time we stay in the kindergarten section, and because that was the last one we sorted, and so now we have both the females and the males sorted in alphabetical order by last name in just the kindergartner. So here's the last female, it's Alexis Yanger, and then the very first male is Digna Alomer. In kindergarten, and then we get down to first grade, we see that that starts over again, females starting at the beginning of the alphabet, and then we get down to males. Here's the last female is Janelle Zavala, and then the first male is Camila Acosta. Looks like that's one of our males there. All right, and so we see that depending on which order we do our compound sort, we'll see the results in a little bit different way. And so you have to kind of experiment to see which compound sorts are going to work for you. But just know you can't compound sort every single column, because obviously if I were to then sort the first name, it's going to totally change the way the last names are listed. So hopefully that's helpful to you in knowing that you can sort more than one column at a time. And depending on which order you do it, the results will be different. So thank you so much for coming to learn with us today in our video series, Tips and Tricks, and hopefully that compounding sorting information is helpful to you. Please remember to spread the word about not only this office skills training that we have, but also in the IT department, we've got PeopleSoft and PowerSchool training, in addition to our office skills training, which we do Microsoft Office and Google Office apps as well. And you can go to, in the staff portal, to the IT department and find an IT training calendar for all of the classes from PeopleSoft, PowerSchool, and Office Skills Training. Thank you so much for being with us today, and hope you have a wonderful day.